Hey, this is Sour Savior, and I'm just gonna record for a while I'm doing the playing that I was gonna be doing anyway. So, right now, I've chopped down some of the trees that I'd been using as a tree farming right next to the tower because I want to make a little more space and I need more sticks to turn into emeralds. Um, just kind of making sure I get net positive on the dark oak saplings. There we go. It's worth hanging around to collect a couple more of those though, because dark oak saplings don't have a great rate of return compared to a lot of other trees. So it's very easy to accidentally end up in a situation where you run out of dark oak saplings. Oh, there's some on this side too that I should get rid of. Yeah, I have some plans to make like a moat around the tower, um, which I'm gonna need a lot of space for that. I'm gonna have to remove or just move a lot of this stuff in order to make space for that. But all these things are on the outside of the tower. We're always just temporary starter base stuff. Uh-oh. I don't need these apples. Apparently I don't need those sticks either. I should just duck inside and get a shulker box. Yeah, this light's new. It's a little bit of a stopgap measure because it turned out that this area was spawnable, and a creeper showed up in there at one point. That was an unpleasant surprise trying to leave my house. Okay, so across those 6 trees, we're definitely net positive on the saplings now. Spruce saplings, on the other hand, are very easy to collect huge amounts of. There's really no reason why I should have gone over and picked those up. That stuff away and get the spruce logs to start making sticks. One stack of logs makes enough sticks to buy out one master completely. You could, whoops. You could do this a little more efficiently if you were curing zombie villagers, but this multiplayer world is not on hard difficulty, so villagers killed by zombies sometimes just disappear instead of converting to zombie villagers. If it was on hard, then I would definitely take the time to try to get these guys cured, because the ability to convert fewer sticks into the same amount of emeralds would save me a lot of durability on my axe. Oh, speaking of durability, I should take off a couple of pieces of this if I want to get a greater percentage of the experience feeding into the axe instead of these armor pieces, which not quite enough room in my inventory for all the sticks and the armor, so there we go. You should see the axe repairing a lot faster now. Yeah, look at that, it's already yellow. And I have a mighty need for arrows. Did you reset your trades before you went to sleep? Let's wake you up. Whoops. Ah, no, he did not. So, time to get some sleep. I still have not made a real bedroom here, so very fancy place. I mentioned this in a previous video, but the bulk of this map is the work of a different member of the server. The only part I actually mapped out myself is these 4 squares here, immediately surrounding Sour Tower. And here's a zoomed in version of the same area. All these villagers around means my tower keeps getting infested with these iron golems. That's better. I'm gonna need these 2 books. Let's see if anybody reset their trades. That was pretty late. Let's get some arrows. Oh. That's not great. What can we put away? Ah, now that was the sound I was waiting to hear. I believe some of these guys have reset now. Yep. The axe is fully repaired. Guess I might as well top off the pick while I'm still collecting emeralds. Right now I'm trying to build my emerald collection back up a little bit. In part just to have them, but also in part because I want to get a couple of enchanted books from the librarian section. I picked up a second Elytra, and I'd like to get it enchanted with Unbreaking and Mending before I donate it to the rest of the server. Because Unbreaking 3 and Mending is what really makes an Elytra great. I mean, Elytra are cool enough unenchanted, but they wear out with surprisingly little distance traveled, and having the ability to repair them is, I think, very important. Let's get some more arrows. Do you sell arrows? No, you do not. I'm planning to fill a shulker box in the end chest with arrows to just always have spare arrows, because last time I went to the end, I wound up in a situation where I only had 10 arrows left to try to use for the whole trip, and I wound up having to cut the trip short and come home. That should be plenty for most trips. And let's see. Need one of these. And one of these. Now to head up to the storeroom. That's enchanted now. One of the other guys on the server found some cactus and was nice enough to give me a little bit of starter cactus. And the other thing I'm going to want is an item frame. Oh, and I'm going to want at least one sign. There we go. Now we are ready to head on over to the spawn tower and leave this little gift. As you can see, I'm building practically on top of the spawn tower. I think I'll put the wings inside. But where? Maybe near the portal or this upper area. You know, I'm thinking right here. Not enough space. There we go. And let's do... actually, screenshots are annoying. I'm gonna just take a picture of it with my phone and then send that to the group Discord. There we go. Now to head on back to my place. Yep, let's head on back through the Nether. And there's my portal already. Like I said, these two areas are practically on top of each other. At some point I kind of want to clear out some more of this section so that instead of being a path, there's just an open space, because I'm pretty sure you could see the portals from each other if there wasn't this lump of netherrack in the way. Right. Like there it is. And there's my trees. I know there's not a huge practical advantage to it, but I just really enjoy putting trees in the Nether. All of this is done cooking. And I'm very low on fuel. Good to know. Good to know. Okay, I don't have a ton of fuel on me, so maybe I chop down these trees. That is what I planted them for, after all. I know it would be just as easy to pop in and out of the overworld for this, but you know. So you might notice that the trees are all the logs pop out at once. That's a mod that the server has as a server side mod. If you use a stone axe or better to chop a log block, then it also breaks every log that's directly in a vertical column from it. It uses up durability as though you had manually broken all of those blocks, so it definitely feels a lot less like a cheat than if it was just using one durability to do that. So gotta be careful with these very tall trees, because if you break an axe and it just clears, let's say, the bottom 7 of a given tree, now suddenly you're stuck. You've got the next piece of log is too high to reach and you're way down below. And you could easily break your mending axe, and then what do you do? Right? So it's important to pay close attention to the durability when you're using that mod. Let's clear out these bricks. If you had found yourself wondering at all where all the nether brick on that tower I live in came from, well, actually the answer is the nether fortress over there for about 85% of it, but that's been getting harder and harder to collect from, so now instead the answer is largely netherrack. And over here is an earlier place where I was harvesting some netherrack, and up here is the more recent place. I might do some of that a little bit later, but I do have enough nether brick that I can actually get some building in, and I would like to do that. Every time I leave the nether, it's night. I don't know how that keeps happening. I just put that back, but let's grab a bunch of nether brick. And what else do I want? If I carry around one of these, I can make slabs a little easier. let's make this tower a little bit taller. Yeah, so this here is the top of the chorus farm. So now we need a redstone dead space. Because if I ever need to adapt a floor to have redstone, I would like to have a space already ready for it. Holding down crouch like this lets you reach down 3 blocks. If you aren't crouching, you'll only reach down 2. Mention this occasionally, but I'll bring it up again because it took me so long to learn. Middle click will select items in creative mode. It just takes whatever you're looking at and adds it to your bar. In survival mode, it looks at your inventory to try to find the thing that you're looking at, and if you're carrying it, then it'll put it in your bar. And since I'm carrying quite a bit of nether brick right now, middle click works great. It's much more convenient than having to open things up every single time. I remember before I knew that, I used to fill all 9 of the blocks of my toolbar with the thing that I was trying to build with, and every time I burned through those 9 stacks, having to go back in, refill it, was annoying. And I wish I'd learned about middle click block selecting a lot sooner. Make this 4 high, so we'll add 2 blocks, and then that's going to be the level of the floor. The large section of that floor down there that's half a block lower doesn't need to be lit because mobs can't spawn on the slabs that are the bottom half of a slab. If the slabs were at the top half height, mobs would be able to spawn and I would have to light it. But because they aren't, I don't. And I'm not going to, because it's unnecessary extra work. last couple of days I was mostly doing interior work in the tower, and even though it was useful and moving me towards some of my goals for this build, I was still feeling frustrated by the fact that the build wasn't getting any taller, which it's kind of silly, but I kind of mark the progress on this by how high up it is. There's the chorus farm. I came down here for some buckets of water. For a bubble elevator, the whole thing needs to be water source block, which for the glass parts is a little more involved to arrange, but for the parts in the dead spaces where it's just bricked in, it's easy enough. Just place water at every level. And did I ever... Okay, yeah, that is bubbled. Right? It's not just flowing water. Oh, yeah, there's some bubbles at the edge. Now we've got some floor to fill in. These half slabs will go twice as far as the full blocks that I used on the lower floors for the floor. And for most builds, there's not really any difference. Hold on, I'm gonna sneeze. Fun. Okay. Yeah, so the half slabs, they're fine, and whoops. There's no visual difference once they're in place. And if it's just filling in the sides of a dead space like this, then you just use slabs. Don't worry about it. But these are top slabs, not bottom slabs, so let's make sure we're not going to be getting any mob spawns. There's still a chance that stuff will spawn on the new rim there, but it's not as bad as if we had just whole swaths of unlit spawnable surfaces. When filling in large areas of floor, I like to do these little 3x3 areas because you can fairly easily reach it without being super precise about your footing. Oh, look at that. Oh, I'm not carrying any arrows. Oh, you know what? We've got a solution to that. Goodbye, creeper. Also, apparently I missed a stack of spruce logs. You may have noticed that I carry around an ender chest. It's a really great way to expand your carrying capacity. Normally you've just got your 36 slots, but if one of those 36 slots is an end chest, well, now that's 27 extra minus the one for the end chest. What is that? So it's 63 slots. But if a bunch of the spaces in that end chest are full of shulker boxes, well, it's net 26 extra spots per shulker box. I think I have something like 10 of them in the ender chest on this server. So that means I'm just walking around with over 300 inventory spaces instead of 36. That's not bad. Might even go so far as to say that it's good. And whether you want those shulker boxes to be full of useful materials that you might want to build with when you're away from home, or if you want to have them stay mostly empty so that when you're harvesting materials you don't run out of space and you can just bring back a ton of stuff without making multiple trips. Either way, totally valid. Personally, I tend to go for a mix of the two, but favoring mostly empty slots unless I'm heading out on a specific build. But, yeah, totally legitimate either way you want to do it. Just remember that when you're traveling with a ender chest, you need silk touch to pick it back up. Otherwise, it'll just break into 8 obsidian. And you'll need to get ender pearls and blaze powder to make a new Eye of Ender for the middle of it. So another advantage of using these slabs is that because slabs are transparent blocks, a beacon beam will travel right through them. So I've got that beacon at just below ground level, down at the center-ish of the tower. This build has an even width, so the actual center is a 2x2 space, but the beacon is on one of those 4 blocks in the 2x2 space, and it's able to project right up through all the floors because at every step where the floor blocks it, that floor is made of slabs and not solid blocks. I do intend to fill in the other 3 center spaces with additional beacons. I just haven't had a ton of luck on the drop rates from wither skeletons. I've gotten a total of 4 wither skeleton skulls on this server, one of which died with me when I fell in lava over the weekend. Which was doubly frustrating because that, at the time, was the first one. But I did eventually get 3 more, and eventually I will get the 9 more that I need to fill out the rest of these beacons. I actually already have the beacon pyramid built for those other 3. All I have to do is get the beacons, plop them down, and that'll be that. You know what? It just occurred to me, and it should have occurred to me sooner. Whoops. I left that Elytra back at the central base. I'm too low. But I didn't leave any rockets for it, so no one's gonna be able to use it. I should have brought a chest. Any wood in here? No. Wood in here. Here's some wood. You know what? Spruce looks nicer than birch. Let's waste birch. Nope, that doesn't work. Rent a wing. Return when not in use. Spare rockets in chest. Did I leave it in chest here? No. Okay, so let's put one down. Grab a different one to put in my inventory so I don't have to return this. Get a stack of rockets. Put them in the chest. There we go. Check on our villagers. Excellent. Next time it's nighttime, let's see if I can remember to come on down and move out the two jobless ones so that they can become masons. And I should pick up more nether brick on my way back to the roof. Let's just carry this with us. And this stack of logs out of here. Okay, where were we? We were over here. Well, I'm gonna continue playing, but I'm gonna put on some music or TV or something on my other screen. So I'm gonna end the recording here. Hope you enjoyed watching kind of a typical survival play session. And if you did enjoy that, let me know and I can do more videos like this in the future. And if you didn't, well, I'll probably see a very low view count. And thank you for watching.